Hello. I thought we would do a video report on our comings and goings for 2013. This will be a snapshot of what Linda and I have been up to for the last 365 days. First, for Linda, we need to cover 5 episodes in her year. Her year began with starting the effort to market the rather large dollhouses that she and Beth had built over 20 years ago. That need was interrupted by a call from WHEC, Channel 10, a local TV station who needed to schedule an interview. As it developed, there were 5 awardees for the Jefferson Award in Rochester. Linda was nominated for her work with Safe Journey in the role of controller. A fair part of her year was spent arranging things for the merger of Safe Journey. Safe Journey merged with a male counterpart, Stand-Up Guys, whose married name will be Resolve. Meanwhile, back to the dollhouses. One was raffled during an annual event staged by Lilliput. The proceeds from the raffle was a tidy sum, which Lilliput donated to Resolve. The other dollhouse was donated to the Parrington Historical Museum. It will be used as a part of a children's area in the museum. Meanwhile, Safe Journey, otherwise known as Resolve, now absorbed an enormous amount of Linda's time by wending its way through the Byzantine labyrinth of bureaucracy which is needed to switch bank accounts, billing accounts, state and national charitable registries ad nauseum. It's even more like getting married. To top things off, Linda again handled the registration and collections for the Safe Journey annual 5K race. Given the money and the registrations were being delivered to our house at all hours, an observer might have thought we were running a crack house. The sweetener for this effort was the ceremonial handover by Lilliput of the proceeds from the dollhouse raffle when they had the award ceremony for the 5K race. John's year was somewhat quieter. He spent a lot of time on the web and on his computer. Earlier in the year, he involved himself in developing a password management system, trying to make it easier to remember multiple and frequently changed passwords. For this, he contacted a professor in Illinois who agreed that John's approach was both simpler and just as secure as the one he had published. John's battery died, that is to say, his pacemaker. Its replacement required minor output surgery for a day in the hospital and at the price of a small, not so small car from, fortunately, the insurance company. Back on the web, John found a game theory case called Prisoner's Dilemma had been upgraded by some excellent work in Washington State. Earlier, John had worked out the details for a betting strategy for Final Jeopardy, the TV show game. For the Prisoner's Dilemma, a technical breakthrough led John to develop an Excel model for repeated play of the game. Back to matters of the heart. John needed another week in the hospital, this time for observation as he began using Ticocin, a powerful but apparently dangerous medicine to suppress fibrillation of his atria. John's most recent academic contact was based on a drive-by response to an article he saw in the Huffington Post. After suggesting in a comment that the article's author could consider the protocols that made Bitcoin work, John was invited to co-author a paper on the concept. That has led to multiple exchanges with Yossuri Masurik, Associate Professor of Cognitive Psychology and Statistical Modeling Applied to Behavioral Sciences at Aix-Marseille University. Besides a lunch at Mario's for Linda's award, our whole social life has consisted of just 3 events. One was the Sewell's Overnighter, which is held annually just before Christmas at Lake Keuka. Edge Duel's dinner at Nick Massa's Sea Breeze Inn in Irondequoit on the lake. And then a second luncheon at the same place with Dick Brown. The rest of the information about our comings and goings can be tracked on the web, and NASA has probably done that. If you're outside of either loop, call us at 585-223-1244 or email me at jbailey2@rochester.rr.com or Linda at lbbailey@rochester.rr.com.